With one kid, we can double team that little sucker. He's got no chance. But with 2, we had to switch to man-to-man defense. With 3, we had to play zone. With 4, they could and often did double team us, which wasn't a problem at first, but became a problem later. Good morning and welcome back to another Tuesday in the Turkeyverse.
Good morning. Whoa, good morning.
I have my little weird fish mug this morning.
That's so cute.
I commandeered it from our wedding as my souvenir. Oh, it's so ugly and weird. Anyway, all right. So today we're doing listener feedback, but not the sad kind. From the Angry Boys on YouTube. This is our actual listener feedback. We got some responses back from all of our questions. Was that last episode? A couple episodes ago? Whatever it was. Our BFF, One Dull Geek, sent us back an exhaustive list, and I tried not to read it too much before we did this because I wanted to react with you. So he was very organized, which I am not surprised by somebody who said that they fly planes, and numbered them. So I sort of tried to organize them so I can read them and we can naturally react to them. And then we also got some responses from clips on social media. And then some people have responded to our game piece questions that we asked.
Nice.
So I pulled those in. But before we start, I do have one short story for you that you were not knowing I was going to tell you from my traffic experience this week.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Hey, turkeys, real quick, we want to tell you about our fun new free craft corner. Every quarter, in line with the equinox or solstice, we are going to send out new farts and crafts projects. You can find the link in the show notes. Just drop us your email. We promise not to spam you, but we'd love for you to join us. Now back to the show.
So for those of you who don't know about my part of Florida, I'm on the Panhandle, and there's sections where it's just like thin strips of land with water on either side. And there's a state highway, or the equivalent of a county road, or in Texas, a farm to market road that just goes straight, Highway 98. And there's little neighborhoods that shoot off of it, but there's really no side roads. So if there's an accident on 98, you're you're stuck. You're not arriving on time to your location. So, and sometimes you can get in trouble because you can't squirt around anything whatsoever. And in some areas, it's a little more rural and there's not a lot of turnarounds. Or there's woods anyway. So Jason was taking his motorcycle to get a new wheel and tire put on. And he called me he pulled over and called me and said, hey, there's an accident. I'm in front of it and I'm not in it, because I think he knows I get slightly paranoid. But he goes, you have plenty of time. It looked like traffic was moving. Don't worry about it. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. I pass a gas station. But Jason says traffic's moving fast. I think that there was a second accident after the accident that he referred to, because all of a sudden traffic stops. And it stopped. And like 15 minutes goes by and I sort of feel like I have to pee. And then I'm looking around and I am in between nothing. So there's woods on my right, and just behind that, it's like the woods on the front part of a subdivision. That's a dead end. I have my map pulled up. Nothing is anything. It's just one road, neighborhood, dead ends. And there's a median, but I'm in the right-hand lane of traffic. Even if someone lets me over into the left-hand side, my car isn't high enough to clear the depth of the median in that spot. And I've been watching trucks turn off, but it's steep and I'm not going to try it. And even if I did that, it would be a while. So I was like, okay, it's fine. I've held my pee before. No big deal. We can do this. And then Life Flight starts circling.
Oh, crap.
Which means that they have shut down traffic on both sides of the highway. No one's going anywhere, nor will we be going anywhere for any amount of time. So I'm like heavy labor Lamaze class breathing at this point, and then wondering what is my game plan, because I'm alone in the car. So it's not like I can go run off to the woods, which I totally would have done if Jason were there.
Yeah.
And everyone's cars are parked, and I had shut my car off at this point. But I also still didn't think I should just leave my car vacant. So then Life Flight must have left at some point when I was breathing, and I was feeling some manner of relief until Life Flight came back again, presumably for another person. And at this point, I had to christen my Stanley mug with pee.
No, the Stanley. I was wondering if you were going to have to pee in the car.
I thought I had a water bottle somewhere, and I was like, okay, maybe if I just sort of like hold it really tight on the open, like I can. I mean, Jason has peed in oh my God, my dog is sleeping in my room and he's having a dream. Jason has a pee bottle essentially in his car for these moments. Just an old Gatorade, old school Gatorade with a wide mouth.
But all you had was your Stanley.
But all I had was my Stanley. And on top of that, I'm in the driver's seat. Thank God I had put a dress on before we left, just thinking to myself, okay, if Jason and I want to go grab a beer or something after we drop off the bike at the beach, I'll just have something not disgusting on, because if I would have had leggings, I don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
So I lowered the seat of my car all the way as far low as I could get it. I always bring sweaters with me, thank God. So I laid that over the top of me just so I didn't flash anybody, because there were trucks and SUVs next to me, and they could easily look down. Although at that point, I would rather flash someone than pee on my car. And I basically set my Stanley mug underneath me and then sat on it. But I was also, then I started peeing, and then I was afraid I was going to pee more than the cup, because I don't really know how much I pee in a normal setting. So I just stopped, and then I screwed the top back on. I obviously put the straw in my purse before this started. And then I was so afraid that I was going to, out of habit, reach for my mug, that I put it in the back cup holder.
Yes, smart. Was there water in it before?
There was a little bit, because I always have water. So I dumped that out, and I was like, clearly the people in the cars next to me have to know what's going on, that somebody's about to pee in the cup.
You can't
And then I just left it in there until we got home, and I dumped it out and rinsed it out. And now, I mean, I've washed it, and it's pee, so it's sterile, and it's mine, and no one uses that cup but me, so eventually it's fine. But I think it's going to take me a week or two before I fill that thing up and use it.
Probably a good idea. Give it like 3 good washes and maybe a week. And
I mean, people are out here drinking their urine, so
True.
I know. And I also made sure I kept it really upright so that at no point there was ever anything around the top.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still washed it, but just for my own. But then the next day we went back to pick his bike up, and he goes, "Where's your water?" And I said, "I am not going to tempt the gods by bringing that cup back in the car with me on the same road to the same location the next day."
Kaylee, that's awful.
The moral of the story is, I think I'm going to buy a Shiwi, and I think I'm just going to start keeping a plastic cup in my car, or a plastic bottle.
Shiwi?
I need to find one on Amazon, and we need to put a link for it, but I believe they made them for women in the military. So that when you're in your outfit with all your outfit, you're in your uniform with all of your gear on, men were just able to whip it out and pee on deployment, and women would have had to, squat. It's not safe, just all of it that comes with all of that. So they made this little device that essentially is, I don't know how to describe it, silicone, and there's an opening, and then it just has a little spout, like a funnel. And you just mash it up there, and then you can pee like a dude out of your pants.
That's
you could do it through a fly, like if you had jeans on.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So I drive sometimes for work, and there are times where I could be in like a rural situation where I would need to do something. I don't know. I just have a feeling I'm going to invest in a Shiwi and an emergency water bottle so that I don't have to ruin my Stanley.
I cannot believe that. Okay, well, I was thinking having to pee really bad is a bad situation, but what if someone was going into labor or something? I don't know if there's a hospital in that direction, but like, what if you had to catch a flight or had to go to the hospital? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is why 98's terrible.
Whoa. That's crazy, Keely.
Traffic will move for an ambulance, so I guess if you were presumably going into labor, you could pull off into the grass on the side of the road, tell a family to pick up your car, and then get zoomied from an officer. But
true.
It's really special. So I've officially, not in this car, but in my old car, I pooped in my pants, and in this car, I peed in my Stanley mug. So I'm hoping for no other bodily fluid problems.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. That's awful. But I'm glad you didn't pee on yourself or in your car. What if you didn't have a water bottle at all? You would have had to got out.
I would have probably, and then been risked being on somebody's Ring doorbell in the woods of their backyard.
My gosh. Good story. Bad story, but good
welcome.
Story.
Stanley, if you want to use me for a commercial, well, I'm here. Okay. All right, let's start off. I want to start off by reading our favorite fan on YouTube and his responses, because he left us such a list, and I want him to have the credit he's due for the amount of time that he spent in thoughtfully responding to us. But he said, let me start off by saying I started writing answers to each of your questions, but there were so many and they just kept coming. So I've cut some of the answers, and it's still a stupidly long comment. So fair warning, but you kind of brought this on yourself.
So true.
It's like, there's nothing I would ever want more than a long comment. So I am not offended, buddy. I'm going to do the relationship ones that he has, and then I will go find the financial. We asked some financial relationship questions too, so I'll find those after. But we asked our listeners, how did you meet your significant other? And he said, I met my wife at a church when I was an atheist, which I'm loving.
Interesting.
After several groups events, I asked her out, but she left me clues that made it easy to know that if I asked her, she'd say yes. So she kind of like left him a breadcrumb trail. It was incredibly fun to be on the recipient end of flirting while knowing it. Oh, okay. Sorry. Sometimes it's hard for me to read. In hindsight, I'm pretty sure other women had flirted with me, but I only found out after. In my wife's case, I knew she was flirting with me. Well, let's be honest. I guessed that she was flirting with me, and then I got lucky that I was right.
I love that.
I do feel bad for guys sometimes, especially in this climate, with the uncertainty that there must be in asking someone out.
Yeah.
Jason told me that he would never have asked me out because he was such a nervous Nelly about reading the signs wrong. So he basically said, it's a good thing you did, because I never felt certain of it.
Kenny also said, it's a good thing you asked for my number because I just wanted to be respectful and didn't want to ask you because I didn't want to come off creepy. I'm like, good thing we asked.
I know. Good thing, man. Okay, then we asked who proposed to who. And he said, I proposed to my wife. And she said no.
Oh, no.
But we kept dating. And then at some point we went to an amusement park, and she was asking about plans for our wedding. And I was like, wait, the last answer you gave me was no. Has something changed? It had, and she just hadn't informed me. And this is a running theme throughout our 30-year marriage.
That's adorable. 30 years. 30 years is a long time. Good job.
That is so funny. Yeah, number one, congrats. And number two, I guess for everybody out there who's been told no, it's not always the end, or it doesn't have to be. I can't imagine saying no. So I sort of feel props go to his wife, because I would have been so uncomfortable. I don't know what I would have done.
Same. Same.
Whew. Okay. We asked if you have kids, do you want more? And then you asked if having more kids was harder, or is 2 the same as 5, twice the work, or is it 5 times the work? So let me read through these. I really can tell this part was thoughtful, and I'm excited. Okay, we have 4 kids ages 26 to 18, and no, we do not want more. That tracks. Too old for that. He put a bunch of asterisks. I'm assuming he meant too old for that shit. My wife and I both wish we could go back and visit with our kids at younger ages, just relive the fun parts of each age, but neither of us wants to stay. We want to visit and then leave. Adult children who mostly take care of themselves are less cute, but they're also much less work.
Tracking, for sure.
Oh, this is funny. How challenging it is. I use a sports analogy for kids. With 1 kid, we can double team that little sucker. He's got no chance. But with 2, we had to switch to man-to-man defense. And we were pretty good at it. Which we were pretty good at. With 3, we had to play zone. We each cover certain areas, and if a kid strays into that area, it's our job to defend. With 4, they could and often did double team us, which wasn't a problem at first, but became a problem later.
That is great.
I was so excited to see how this was going to play out. I loved the sports analogy. Okay. There's this age where none of them can drive, but they all have activities. My wife and I would have logistics meetings every night to try to plan out how we were going to get 4 kids to each of the completely different places they had to be at the same time. Do not miss that.
That sounds like a lot.
Whew. Does it get harder? Yes, but you've also experienced it before, so you kind of know what's coming. And yes, they play with each other, but they're also immature, selfish creatures, so play often turns into disputes, so it's harder.
Yep.
The thing that surprised me the most about adding another child was how quickly the older one went from little to gigantic when you brought home a newborn. It was strange to feel the urge to switch from protecting your child to also having to protect your younger child from your older child,
yes,
who, being immature, is a non-trivial threat to the safety of a newborn.
I've thought about that a lot.
I hadn't thought about that, but it makes sense. And then he said, but I would say if you want more kids, don't worry about how hard it gets. You'll figure it out. It helps to have a partner who shares the load and you can confide in when you're frustrated.
That's great advice. I like that.
That was such a thoughtful response. I saw the length and knew it was good, but I didn't read past to get into the sports.
The sports
thing,
analogy. Top tier analogy. That. Yes.
Double team, man-to-man zone. Oh my god, that was funny. Okay.
That was awesome.
Let me quick buzz over to some of our questions. So I asked people, if you were in a relationship, how did y'all do your finances and how did that work? So I had some people kind of do what we were talking about, and some people were completely different. There was one woman, Mere Mood, I think, with a watermelon on TikTok. She said that they have separate accounts, and then she just collects for all of their bills, which that had never occurred to me. But I hate money and managing it, so good for her, because I couldn't do it. I thought that was interesting. Our OG listener, Rachel, said, separate checking, savings, and investment accounts, joint savings account, and joint investment accounts. In a divorce, it all counts. And then she put parentheses, personal, as in marital assets that they get half of. Sorry, TikTok is weird. So if you have a 401k and they don't, and when they spend it anyway, it's harder for you to identify equal division if you have more savings. I hadn't thought about that. So even if, I think what she was saying is, even if you have separate accounts and separate savings, if you accrue that money while you are married, they just look at it all the same.
That's interesting. So in the moment, it's like separate, but if you get a divorce, the judge and lawyers or whatever is going to look at everything.
So I guess the people that might do that if you're not married, I don't know, common law is weird and I don't understand it, but if you are married, I guess if you're worried about something with somebody, you could at least draw money out before you filed for divorce, before they could find it.
I feel like it's maybe with buying a home, if you do something like that or have a big deposit or pull out a big amount, they may still ask about it and question where it is. Maybe not.
That's true.
We
I
forgot
guess
to
I was
ask.
thinking about like escape mode.
Yes. Yeah, that's different. We never asked people what they thought of getting a prenup.
Oh, we should have.
Well, there you go. If you're listening now, there's another question on the table.
Dude, I want to talk about that later because I have feelings about it on all fronts. Oh, do you remember, this was just a random thing, but do you remember how I said, how is it possible that I can feel hairs on my arm all
Yes.
day, but if a single hair is disconnected? Well, one of our regular listeners, I don't know how to pronounce anyone's screen names. It's ABR Santa. But he said, nope, it wasn't him. It was Operation Wolf. My bad. Operation Wolf said, because it's yours. And I was like, no, buddy. It's still mine, right? Or does it become not mine when it leaves my head?
I'm telling you, I think this has to do with some kind of nerve connection because when it's in your head touching you, it's not as annoying as a stray one fluffer in you. That's interesting.
Don't get it. I mean, he must have short hair, so he doesn't deal with it. Okay. I'm going to pop back over to our thoughtful answers from Mr. One Dull Geek. Okay. So we asked people about their career and how they got there. He said, my career. I went to college thinking I wanted to study physics, so I took a computer science course to make sure I had the skills to do computer modeling. But I fell in love with computer science, so I switched. I've been tinkering and programming computers since 1990, and along the way, I found some people who wanted to pay me to tinker and program their computers.
Wow.
So cool.
God, that's so over my head. I'm jealous because I don't understand that stuff.
I can't even fathom. Okay. As I've mentioned this before, my wife is a social worker. For part of our relationship, she did it professionally, and then she transitioned to volunteer social worker, aka mom. And I would say this: she has no off switch for the skills that comprise her profession. She's doing it whether she wants to or not. Me, I can absolutely turn off my be a computer nerd persona. In fact, I came to a realization recently that when I retire, I'm likely to never need nor want to use those skills again. I'll be transitioning to a user, and I'll be fine with that.
Nice.
I'm cracking up because I think for sure social workers are born. Anyway.
Yep.
Number 12, what am I saying? We asked if you worked in a cubicle, and he said, I do work in a cubicle. I like my job. I hate the cubicle. Or at least I used to hate the cubicle. Where I work, they're moving to something called open seating, which makes me long for the days of a cubicle. With open seating, I don't even have cubicle walls. So if you thought cubicles were noisy, now everyone is just sitting there out in the open, exposed to each other, tapping and phone calls and chit chats.
Oh God. My worst
It's really
nightmare.
loud and distracting. To be honest, I wish I could work from home full time. I'm a computer programmer. There's no reason I can't, except that my company has a huge investment in real estate that I'm helping them to save by being in the office and having to put up with all the noise nonsense. Oh my God.
I was going to say with a job like that, a career, you should be able to work from home. But I feel like some companies who have invested so much in the building itself, it's not like they're just going to waste it.
That's insane and so sad. And I can't believe that they took away your walls.
I'm so sorry. I hope you don't have misophonia like me because I think I would have to find another job.
Holy hell. Okay. We asked how did they we asked how do they test parachutes, and he said re-parachute testing. I have no idea, but I do have 835 skydives. That's so many. Induced instruct.
Oh, whoa. I mean, it kind of tracks because now he's got his pilot license, right? He's like a sky into the sky.
Right? A sky boy.
I knew you were going to say that for some reason. That's really cool and really impressive. Honestly, the reason why I don't want to do it again is because on the way down, I got nauseous. Like after the fun free fall part and then just floating there, I got nauseous and I was like, you know what? No, I'd rather just stay on the ground. It was a really cool experience though.
It's great, man. Okay, so he said, then I had children and life insurance, said I was going to have to stop that.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
But the life insurance term ends this month and it's game on for me. But obviously at 835 jumps, I loved it. It's been about 27 years since I last did it. I'll find out if I still like it.
Whoa, so crazy.
That's so crazy. I can't wait to, I want to find out how that goes. Also, how dare you, life insurance?
I can see that.
Okay.
That's dumb.
And then, toilet paper over-unders.
All right.
He said, I used to be an over person, but then the children made me an under. But now
have
that they're
heard-
all over 18, we're back to over.
Nice. Okay. I'll give that a pass because I do say cats who are terrorizing and kids who could be a terror. I can see them just,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
I like that they went back.
Yes, thank you. Good job.
On being taller. When I was dating, being short was a hindrance. Women seemed to want taller guys, but now I don't give a fuck. I'm 5'8" and slightly shorter than average, but I fit into things, especially vehicles.
Love it.
I do love that. That's really great. Okay. Dude, that was so fun. Okay, really fast. I need to buzz through these so I'm not yammering for too long. On ghost stories. I think everybody needs to go out today and ask their friends, do they believe in ghosts? Because I got responses from friends texting me that I never would have expected. My friend Erin sent us a comment and said that I need to follow up with her to get more ghost story information, and I just didn't make time. But I was not expecting that because Erin and I are both very type A ladies, and I don't know, it's just such a fun surprise, and now I can't wait to hear about her ghost stories.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then another one of my friends, she described a dream that she had where I believe at this point her friend's mom had passed away and she'd never met her friend's mom, but she appeared to her in a weird dream, lucid dream type state, and was thanking her for being such a good friend to her daughter and just kind of talking about all of these things. And so when my friend went back and said this, her friend was like, I've never told you that. Like, there was no way she could have known the details that she knew. And then she
Whoa.
already knew what her friend's mom looked like, having never seen a photo.
That's just real. That's
Isn't
crazy.
that so interesting? I loved that. And then she also said, when she was in labor, she had this weird moment where she felt like somebody was grabbing her foot, which I remembered you saying that the veil gets thin.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that was interesting. And then this other one she sent me, which I thought was so funny, no, not this one yet. There's a funny one coming. She said when she was a kid, she felt like she lived in a haunted house and someone had died in one of the rooms and she didn't like going in there. And then her dog would always bark down the hall at that room, which I don't like. And I definitely could see dogs sensing things. And then she said that for a while, her and her husband lived in his grandparents' home and that they had an old rotary phone in the guest room closet that her husband distinctly heard ring several times, even though it was never plugged in.
Oh, that's creepy.
I so badly wish she would have answered it.
Oh my God. No, because you probably let whatever in.
Maybe it was just someone was bored. Okay.
That's creepy. Okay, we need more follow-up with her about more details.
I know. I would love them.
Wow.
If she writes them out, I'll read them out loud in long form. Okay, you asked people, how are you a cat lady? As in hoarding cats.
Multiple. Yes.
And a lady said, blame the cat distribution system. I was fine with 2, but then I couldn't help but take in my 3rd cat after finding him outside at my friend's apartment because he was so funny and scraggly. So I get it. You love cats. You have a soft spot. There's so many homeless ones. And then we're running a cat rescue. Somebody else said, there are dog people with 4 to 5 dogs, and that's a ton of hair too, plus barking and picking up poop. Couldn't be me, but some people love animals.
Valid.
And then we asked people about their game preferences. So like playing video games, game pieces. One lady brought up that she was always Scarlet on Clue, which I forgot about Clue characters.
Me too.
And then somebody else, when we asked about Monopoly pieces or just game pieces in general, she said that mine was always based on least favorites, like process of elimination. I don't like red, yellow, or orange, so I'm fine with pink, purple, blue, or green, or black. So in board games, I just try not to get my least favorites. Same with the Monopoly pieces. I don't really like any of them. I just avoid the ones I like the least.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. I like that.
And then I made a comment about, do you pick the color that's your favorite or the color that you feel you most embody? And somebody told me that she's just lucky because her favorite color is the color that she embodies.
Okay. What did she name what the color was?
No.
Oh man.
I have a lady, I don't know any of these screen names, I can't find them, but she said, I was always green in board games, my favorite. In fact, I pick green for everything, even my toothbrush. And when I pick a character for a game, it would just be the one that I thought was the coolest or cutest, and then I would stick to that one every time. But it did not always have to match my gender.
Nice.
Another lady said that she would always put a little pink thing in the car for life for her husband, just to make him be pink.
That's silly. I like that. I forgot about Life. I love that game.
I did too. Okay, this is last but not least in our answers question or our answer section. Our other BFF on YouTube, Mr. Grimace. Yeah, he's a Mr. When I asked about your game character and if it matches your gender, he said, when I was a teenager, a couple of my buddies would make female characters in video games. When I'd ask them what's the deal, they'd just say that they like staring at her ass or something to that effect. Now every single one of those dudes is either gay or trans. Coincidence?
Oh, no.
I think not.
Oh, that was the greatest comment. I do find that, you want to just look at them, but I guess to be them, that's hysterical.
So funny. Coincidence?
So
I think not. Just the way that he wrote that comment out absolutely cracked me up.
Oh my God, that's great.
Oh my God. So to everybody that responded, we thank you. If we get any more as these trickle out into the universe, we might do another round of answers. But to our geek friend and Grimace, you guys are really holding it down. So thank you. This was so fun. And the answers were so thoughtful.
Yes. No, I love all the comments. Thank you for your feedback. I loved all of it. It's so fun.
How fun to have a dad explain what it's like to have young kids and he's raised them and they're adults.
Yes.
I was not expecting to get that. That was so fun. And yes, thank you, Rachel. You're holding down TikTok for us.
And if anyone's watching this video, please don't make fun of me. I'm mouth breathing because I'm feeling a little sick today. So excuse the dumb look on my face the whole time.
Oh, man. Well, that's that. And I will see you next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.